Hey there, welcome to another video. There are many different types of gameplay that creators use when they're making their tiered obbies, from the safe to the absurd. In this video, I'll be ranking every main type of gameplay used from worst to best. This is based on my own personal opinion, so if you disagree with me, feel free to comment your reasons in the comment section below. I'll be ranking it from least to most enjoyable, so I hope you enjoy the video. However, do keep in mind that there are brilliant obbies in every gameplay style. I'm generalizing quite a lot in this video, so don't take it as this gameplay style is bad, so all obbies that use this gameplay style are bad. There are many brilliant obbies out there, so don't let this video discourage you from trying new styles of gameplay. Jank is a gameplay style that is often called part spaghetti. It's basically made by rotating parts in random ways compared to the structures they're on. It's often very strap based, uses a lot of trusses and ledge grabs. However, I dislike it a lot because it's very hard to make good jank, and if you don't know how to make it properly, it's just going to be unfun to play. Many jank obbies are genuinely just random parts rotated against random structures, and it just is not enjoyable to play. Good jank obbies may include parts that are techy and have deliberate care put into every jump. However, almost all jank obbies are just part spaghetti, which is why I put it at the bottom of this list. Consistency-based obbies can be a variety of gameplays, but are usually rep-based and linear. Now, the gimmick to consistency obbies is that they're very long, and one fall can cause you to lose a lot of progress throughout the obby. Therefore, focus is less on raw skill and more endurance and nerve control. Many consistency obbies are found inside the game Duke's Towers of Hell, which is mainly because many of the towers there are very long, sometimes more than 20, 30, 40 minutes long, or even more. Some of the most famous examples include Tower of Elongated Runs and Tower of Eternal Void, which are both extremely long obbies. I personally don't like consistency obbies, and the main reason is that they just aren't very enjoyable to replay over and over. You're mainly just doing the same easy gameplay for 10, 20, 30 minutes or more until you fail something stupid and lose all your progress. This is especially the case in obbies like Citadel of Infinite Void, where one fall can cost you your whole run in a lot of places. And I don't enjoy playing obbies with especially easy gameplay because it feels like I'm not really being challenged. A lot of the fails feel out of my control. However, there are a lot of good consistency based obbies, and many of them have creative gameplay throughout the whole way, which is why I put it at number 4. Client objects have been around before hard obbies were even a thing, namely kill bricks and spinners. However, Duke's Towers of Hell, the game I mentioned previously, uses these client objects prominently in all of their towers. There are very few towers that don't use client objects, and they're frowned upon by the community as unenjoyable because, I don't know, they're weird or something. Anyway, client objects can be used in a variety of ways and are probably the most creative type of gameplay. There's a kit dedicated to them, which includes things like beat blocks, pushers, platforms activated by buttons, and many more. However, I tend to dislike client objects heavy gameplay because client objects can be inconsistent. They are by nature, they're scripted, so there's always something that could go wrong or something that could change slightly in the execution of them each time you attempt the obby. For example, a spinner might move slightly slower, or freeze, which makes it impossible to complete a section due to how it's set up. For this reason, I'm putting it at number 3 because it can be that client objects can end your run if you get a bug, which isn't the case for purist gameplay. Linear gameplay goes back to the basics. It's very simple jumps, long jumps, wraparounds, basic truss jumps, and etc. Many linear obbies tend to stick to 0.1 or 0.5 stud movements only, which makes them feel very blocky and retro. Some obbies that you may know that use linear gameplay may be Honor and the Nightmare, which is featured in this video. Linear obbies, you can't really go wrong with them, to be honest. Wraps and long jumps are consistent and have tried and tested methods of doing them. It's difficult to screw up linear obbies unless you decide to experiment with other types of jumps, such as lodges and truss jumps. That's where things can get sketchy because if you make them wrong, the obby can become unbalanced or the jumps may not work properly. So you need to be careful when you're making linear obbies. However, like I say, most linear obbies are generally really enjoyable, so it's a safe bet if you're building obbies or want to beat a fun obby. However, linear obbies aren't some people's cups of tea, mainly because the gameplay can get repetitive and boring. There isn't really too much you can do with linear obbies to make them exciting without it going full wrap based. For that reason, I put it at number 2. Tech is by far my favorite kind of gameplay. If you had to give it a short definition, it's gameplay that messes with Roblox physics in ways that you need to understand the way it works in order to play. Tech has a wide range of gameplay associated with it that might be complicated wraps, high jumps, more difficult truss gameplay, flings, glitches, anything like that falls into tech. Tech encompasses a massive amount of gameplay. Tech is great gameplay because of how strat-based and consistent it can get. One reason I love tech is because of how strat-based and consistent it gets. Many kinds of tech gameplay, such as high jumps and more complicated trust jumps, have specific strats tailored for them which make them easier to do, which other gameplay styles, such as linear, may not have. While you may argue that this doesn't test your raw skill, I think it does. It tests your muscle memory, your ability to think quickly during jumps, and your consistency overall. It tests all the skills that other gameplay types may only focus on one of them. That's why I think it's brilliant. In addition, it's kind of hard to go wrong with tech when you're making good gameplay. As long as you keep it consistent and not complete bullshit, then there's not really much you can do to mess it up. Tech obbies are some of the most fun with obbies I've ever had, including Sundarkened World, Bomboclat, Dysphoria, and the obby I'm showing right now, Kekai, by Sakusa. Tech is the best kind of gameplay, at least in my opinion. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be going on a break for a day or two after this, but I'll be back to upload pretty soon, so make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Goodbye, and have a good day.